Hello students, before we start our chapter, I would like to request you all to watch our introductory 2 videos given by me so that you will be clear about the 3-step strategy to do Dhamaka in physics exams. We have given the videos in the description box, or you can just click on our videos displayed at the end of this video for either introductory 2 videos or the next videos. Okay then, let's enjoy physics by Mr. Patel, who has a long, profound experience of 29 years of teaching physics in Sainik School, Balakot.
Example 11.3 on page number 396. This is a solved example. Monochromatic light of frequency 6 into 10 raised to 14 Hz is produced by a laser. The power emitted is 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 watts. Question: what is the energy of a photon in the light beam? Number 2, B. How many photons per second on an average are emitted by the source? Number 1 first. Let us see first. What is the energy of photon? You know, energy of photon E is equal to h into nu, frequency. Frequency is given. H is the Planck constant, 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second. So, E is equal to h nu. H is 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second, and frequency nu is equal to 6 into 10 raised to power 14 Hertz. So, energy is just multiplication of these two. That comes about, that is 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 into 6 into 10 raised to 14 Hertz. That comes about 3.98 into 10 raised to 19 joule. Unit of energy is joules, or Hertz is a vibration per second. Second will be cancelled, so unit left will be joule. Number 2, how many photons per second of an average, per second, that is power, what power is given. So if n photons are emitted, number of photons are, say, n. Actually, this is a wave. The photons are not like this. It is like the quanta. So, it is not a wave theory. This. It has a wave having the frequency nu. Correct? But this is quantized, discrete form. So, the photon, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, say it is n. Each photon has energy h nu. N will be have a n into h nu, or ne. Ne is equal to power. Ne is equal to power. Total power is of the total photons. Total photons is n. Energy of each photon is, say, E. Of this is E. This has E. This has E. This has E, and E is equal to h nu. For this also, you can take more also. Let us count it. So, power total is equal to energy of one photon into number of photons emitted per second, because energy is per second. So, power emitted is 2 into 10 raised to power minus 3 watt, and energy of one photon is 3 into 10 raised to 3.98 into 10 raised to power 19 joule. We have already calculated of one photon. So, energy of n photon will be Ne. So, number of photons is equal to power upon energy of one photon, that is 2 into 10 raised to power is minus 3 watt upon energy of one photon, that 3.98 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule. That comes about 5 into 10 raised to 15 photons per second. Examples are very easy if you remember few equations only. These are the answers. E is 3.98 into 10 raised to energy of a photon is, that is each photon, E is equal to 3.98 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules. And total number of photon n is equal to 5 into 10 raised to 15 photons per second. Now 11.2 on the same page. So, work function of the CGM is given 2.14 electron volt. Find the frequency. Correct? Number 2, B. If nu 0 threshold frequency is, if stopping potential cutoff voltage V0 is equal to, this is not frequency, voltage V is equal to, and V0 is always cutoff, is a symbol for cutoff or stopping potential. The stopping potential is equal to 0.60 watt. Correct. Now A, for the cutoff or threshold frequency, the energy H nu 0 of the incident radiation must be equal to the work function. Correct. So for the cutoff or the threshold frequency, the energy H nu 0, that is work function, correct, of the incident radiation must be equal to the work function. H nu 0 is equal to phi 0. Because we have already studied in the photoelectric phenomena. This is photosensitive plate C, and this is A anode collector, or this is also emitter, also cathode. Correct, photosensitive plate or anode. I am not doing the full. See, this is a battery. There is a voltmeter and reversible key also in between. I have not shown here to change the V negative positive, because otherwise you will have to change the connection of the battery. If you want to make this negative, correct, it is positive here, you can make it negative by putting this changing the connection. This is positive, this end you connect with the E, positive end. It will be positive. If you change it, negative. Otherwise, but you can do with the reversible key also. I have not shown it is a correct. So now the minimum energy should be the H nu 0 of the photon. H nu 0 should be equal to the work function. See this single atom, if you want, of the zinc plate or any other photosensitive plate C, if we want to remove the electron, this photon will supply the energy and remove the electron, correct. It will just liberate if H nu 0 is equal to work function phi 0, correct. Phi 0 is the minimum energy required to remove the electron from the atoms of a photosensitive plate, correct. So it will just liberate with the 0 energy. If this is more than the work function, if it is this energy of the photon H nu is greater than the H nu 0 or greater than the phi 0 also, then extra energy will impart the energy, kinetic energy, half mv square, correct. Now to make this, if we apply this negative potential to this, that is, if this is negative, actually it is made with the, this is positive, that is retarding potential. It will repel the electrons, correct. So increase the negative potential of the plate of the anode A, that is collector, so that it will totally repel, or photoelectric emission just stops, correct. That potential is called the cutoff potential. It is stopping potential or cutoff voltage. This is cutoff voltage. You can measure with the voltmeter connected here, correct. Remember. So phi 0 is equal to H nu 0. So phi 0 is given, work function of the matter is 2.1 for electron. You can see it is for cesium. You have seen the table. So nu 0 threshold frequency is equal to phi 0 upon h, Planck constant. So that is equal to 2.14 electron volt. This is the work function given, into convert into joules, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules. So convert into joules, and h is in the MKS system 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second. You know, the seconds, correct, joules will be cut to per second, that is a unit of, or hertz is a unit of frequency. So threshold frequency is 5.16 into 10 raised to 14 hertz. Correct. The photon current reduces to 0 when K maximum is equal to h nu minus phi 0 is equal to, this is a EV0. The maximum kinetic energy will be equal to stopping potential V0 into E by the retarding potential V0. Now, so EV0 is equal to h nu from this equation, is a famous Einstein equation, h nu minus phi 0. So EV0, because K maximum is equal to this, and this is equal to EV0, because K maximum, that is K maximum, that will be equal to the retarding potential, correct, energy will be equal to 0. So K maximum, that will be equal to energy supplied, electrostatic potential energy supplied by this battery, that is, if electron charge, charge of an electron is G and potential difference to stop totally the photon emission is V0, called the stopping potential, then energy is, you know, E into voltage, charge into voltage, QV, here it is EV0. So EV0 is equal to, that will become kinetic energy, that time it will totally stop. So K maximum is equal to this one, and K maximum is equal to EV0 also. So EV0 is equal to h nu minus phi 0. So EV0 is equal to hc upon lambda minus phi 0. Correct? Frequency is equal to velocity upon lambda. You know that velocity of light c is equal to nu lambda. So nu is equal to c upon lambda. Therefore, lambda, because we have to calculate the lambda, frequency is given. So lambda is equal to hc upon EV0 plus phi 0. Stopping potential is also given. This is the V0 is also given, and work function phi 0 is also given. Correct? Electronic charge we know, velocity of light is known, universal constant 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, and H Planck constant also we know, 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second. Introduce the value and calculate the lambda. So that comes about, the lambda is equal to 454, that is 454 meters. Sorry, it is nanometer, not meter, nanometer. So answer is 454 nanometer. This is around about 500. You can see it is a just yellow-green light, around about that. The violet light has about 400, violet and green in between that. Red has 800 or 750 nanometer. Correct? Average of yellow light is 600 nanometer. You can remember slowly by doing the practice. If you know, or if you study the electromagnetic wave spectrum, you can easily know. Example 11.3 on page number 397. This is also a solved numerical. The wavelength of light in the visible region is about 390 nanometer for violet. Just we have seen, it is round about, violet is about 400, about 550 for average yellow or yellow-green. Just now what we have seen, correct? This is between this and this, that is 454 nanometer we have seen the color, and about 760, this is for red. Red has round about 750 or 760 to about 800 also maximum. So energy of this is very less. Energy is inversely proportional to lambda. So which ray has more energy? Violet, because the lambda is less, lambda is shorter. What are the energy of photons in electron volt at the number 1? Violet end, that is what is the energy of violet color? Average yellow green light, that is for the second, and the third red end. Red has minimum energy because wavelength is maximum. The violet has maximum energy in the visible spectrum. Then ultraviolet also, but it is invisible, more than that. X-ray is still more than that, much more than. Gamma ray is still much more than X-ray. Shorter is the wave, more will be the energy and vice versa. From which of the photosensitive material with work functions phi 0 listed in the table 11.1 and using the result of the 1, 2, 3, correct? Of A, number 1, can you build a photosensitive device that operates with a visible light? Because energy must be equal or greater than the work function of the material, then only you can use that light or that will work with the photosensitive device. So, energy of the photon is given by h nu. Nu is a C upon lambda. Lambda for violet is 390 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter, correct? So, energy is Hc, H is a Planck constant 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 13 joules second into velocity of light 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second upon wavelength, that is 390 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter. You can convert into joule. This energy is 5.1 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules divided by 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules per electron volt, because 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules. So, you will get energy in the electron volt, because work function we measure in the electron volt unit. So, 3 into 3.19 into electron volt, correct. So, now next one, for the yellow green average wavelength of the yellow green light, the 550 nanometer. So, it is equal to Hc upon lambda Yg. Energy of yellow green is equal to Hc upon lambda g. This has a lambda more, so it is energy is inversely proportional to lambda. So, energy will be somewhat less than the violet color. So, 550 into 10 raised to minus 19 into 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules per electron. Directly you will get this in the electron volt unit, correct, and that is equal to, this comes about 2.26 electrons. See, larger is the, greater is the wavelength, lesser is the energy of the photon. Here it is 3.90, it is 2, and red has 760 nanometers, so it is still much more less. Same way you can write the for lambda r is equal to 760 nanometer. Again put in the equation, that is H C upon lambda. H is 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second into velocity of light 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second upon the wavelength lambda of the red light, that is 760 into 10 raised to minus 19, and convert into electron volt, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules per electron volt. That comes about 1.64 electron volt, because longest is a wave, least will be the energy and vice versa. Now, as we have seen that energy of photon of a violet is 3.19 electron volt, energy of yellow green light is 2.26 electron volt, energy of the red light is 1.64 electron volt. Now, in the table 11.1, the metals and the work functions are given. I have written here. For cesium 2.14, for potassium 2.3 electron volt, for sodium 2.75, these are in electron volt, calcium 3.20. In this table, cesium has a list. Sometimes they ask which has a minimum work function in the table and which has maximum. The maximum has platinum. Then after calcium 3.2, molybdenum 4.17, lead 4.25, aluminum 4.28, mercury 4.49, copper 4.65, silver 4.70, nickel 5.15, platinum 5.6, maximum for platinum and minimum for cesium. You can remember sometimes they ask in the multiple choice type questions. Correct. Now the photoelectric device will operate with the, that is, work function for violet is 3.19. So it will work for this also, for cesium, calcium and sodium, all three. But here this is slightly greater, so this is less than the work function. Work function of calcium is 3.20. So if you want to remove the electron from the calcium atom, you need the energy. This is an atom of calcium. You want to remove the electron, the photon should have energy h nu is equal to, minimum energy should be 3.20. Here in our question for violet, E violet has, it needs the 3.20, this phi is 0, its work function is 3.20 electron volt. So this photon has energy 3 is equal to 3.19. Just 0.01 is less. 0.01 is less. It won't liberate. It won't remove the electron. It won't forward. It will work for the sodium. It will remove. It will, correct? It has more energy. So it will impart the kinetic energy also. Extra energy of the photon, that will impart the energy. So, and potassium and cesium, all three. Answer: the photoelectric device will operate with violet light with E is equal to 3.19 electron volt. Photosensitive materials: sodium, potassium and cesium. All these three metals have the work function phi is equal to, EB is equal to less than, that is less than 3.19 electron volt. All these three metals have less than the 3.19 electron volt. So all this will work. Second, it will also operate with the yellow-green light. It will also operate with the yellow-green light because yellow-green light has 2.26. This is 2.26. So it will operate for the, this work function is less. So cesium has 2.14. This is less than this energy. Energy of the photon is more. So it will work with the cesium. But the work function for potassium is more than this. So it won't work with the potassium. Work function of sodium is also more. So it won't work for the sodium. So this light will only work with the device of the cesium material, correct? Because cesium, if you want to remove the electron from the cesium, the energy of the photon is 2.26. E is equal to 2.26. An electron needs energy only 2.14. 50 is 2.14. Correct? So work function is less than this. So energy of the photon is more. Energy of the photon is more than the work function. So it will impart the extra energy. What is the difference? That is 2.26 minus 2.14, that is 0.12 and electron volt energy will supply the kinetic energy. Now for a red has 1.64, so it won't work, correct? Minimum work function is in the table is for cesium, and that is 2.14. This is less than 2.4, so it won't work with this, correct? It will not operate with the red light ER, that is energy of the red light photon is 1.64 electron volt for any of these photosensitive material. Topic 11.8 on page number 398, wave nature of matter. That is, that matter has actually dual nature of radiation. First, let us see the radiation and dual nature. The phenomena like interference, diffraction, and the polarization, etc., can be satisfactorily explained only on the basis of the wave nature of light. Correct? We have already seen it shows that the light travels in the light has a wave nature. That could be explained. This phenomena could be explained successfully when we consider that the light is or radiation is a wave. On the other side, but the phenomena like photoelectric effect, the Compton effect, can be explained in the terms of the quantum theory of light, that is by assuming the particle nature. So sometimes radiation behaves as a particle, sometimes behaves as a wave. That is, it has a dual nature. This shows that light radiation has a dual nature, double nature. Sometimes it acts as a particle and sometimes it behaves as a wave. The particle nature and the wave nature. Correct. And sometimes as a particle. Now, dual nature of matter. So, matter should have also dual nature. If wave has double nature, the radiation has double nature, then matter should also has a double nature. That is, it should act as it should have a wave and it should have a particle. In 1924, French physicist Louis de Broglie put forward the bold hypothesis that material particle in motion should display wave-like property under suitable conditions. He reasoned that the matter and energy must have a symmetrical. Reason that the matter and energy should have symmetrical character. If radiation shows a dual aspect, as we have seen earlier, the radiation shows a dual aspect, so should the matter also. So, matter should also show the dual character. So, de Broglie proposed that the wavelength lambda associated with the particle of momentum p is given as the lambda is equal to h upon p. So, metal should have this particle should have a wavelength lambda is equal to h upon p. P is the momentum of a particle mv and h is the Planck constant, where m is the mass and the v is the speed. The equation 1, this is the famous equation, is called known as the de Broglie equation. The wavelength lambda is called the de Broglie wavelength. This equation is called de Broglie equation and the lambda wavelength is de Broglie wavelength. The dual aspect of matter is evident in the de Broglie's relations. On the left hand side, the equation 1 is the lambda is the attributes of the wave, while on the right hand side, this is correct p or mv. The momentum p is a typical attribute of a particle. This shows the particle, this shows the wave nature. So, in this equation, this shows the particle nature, this shows the wave nature. So, matter has also dual nature. Planck's constant h relates the two attributes, correct? It is related by the Planck constant h relates the two attributes, that is lambda is equal to h upon p. Equation 1 for a material particle is basically a hypothesis whose validity can be tested only by experiment. It was tested experimentally by Davison and Germer also for electrons, and they measured the electrons wavelength, and it was well agreed with the experimental theoretical value. However, but that is not in your course. So, Davison Germer is deleted this time due to coronavirus disaster. So, however, it is interesting to see that it is satisfied also by a photon. So, photon, suppose having the energy E is equal to h nu and E is equal to for particle mc square, correct? This is the Einstein equation, famous. So, comparing these two, h nu is equal to mc square. H nu is equal to mc square. So, and mc is equal to momentum p. So, p is the mc square h nu and p is equal to mc. mc is equal to, that is c, you take this on this side. So, h nu upon c, this will be mc. correct? That is momentum. So momentum P is equal to h nu upon c. Therefore, h upon p is equal to c upon h upon p. Take on this end, this you take on this is equal to c upon nu. C upon nu is a lambda, velocity upon frequency. That is the de Broglie wavelength of photon, correct? Given by equation 1. This is the h upon p is equal to lambda, that is de Broglie equation, correct? The lambda given by the de Broglie equation as per the equation 1. And this also we get the c upon nu, that is equal to also lambda, because c upon nu is lambda. That is the de Broglie's wavelength of photon given by the equation 1 equals the wavelength of the electromagnetic radiation of which the photon is a quantum of energy and the moment. That is shows that a photon has a quantum, and has got energy and the momentum. So photon, consider that photon is not massless, it has a mass, it has a momentum m and has energy. Consider the de Broglie equation 1, h is equal to h upon lambda is equal to h upon mv. So lambda is inversely proportional to v, velocity, and lambda is inversely proportional to mass. So more is the mass, less will be the wavelength. So and that is why in the microscopic picture we do not generally notice, or it is not measurable practically. That wavelength is very less. So if mass is more, wavelength is very less, not measurable practically, is smaller. But if mass is very less, like electrons, atomic size, correct, nucleus and neutron, proton, then lambda could be measured. So it is smaller, that is lambda. Thus, lambda is smaller for a heavier particle, that is large m, or more energetic particle, more v. More is the velocity and more is the mass of the particle. Suppose you are 1 kilo mass is moving with a velocity 1 meter per second. What is the wavelength? That is m is 1 kg and v is velocity 1 meter per second. That is h is a very less value. H has value 6.63 into 10 to the minus 34, not measurable practically. For example, the de Broglie wavelength of a ball of mass 0.12 kg with a speed of 20 meter per second is easily calculated. Lambda is equal to h upon mv. H is the Planck constant 6.63 into 10 to the minus 34 joules second. Mass is 0.12 kg and velocity is 20 meter per second. That comes about 2.76 into 10 to the minus 34. Correct? This is very less wavelength. This wavelength is so small that it is beyond any measurement. Correct? We cannot measure. And that is why it is not that it doesn't associate with the wave. It has a wave. Matter has a wave. Correct? It has dual character. It has a waves and it is a particle also. It behaves a particle and a waves. This is the reason why macroscopic objects in our daily life do not show wave-like property. On the other hand, in the subatomic number or atomic domain, that is the neutron, proton, etc., the electron, the wave character of particle is significant and measurable. That is correct. Here, this is not more massy is not measurable, but here it is atomic domains, the significance and the measurable. That is electron, proton, neutrons, their wavelength associated with them is measurable. Consider an electron, the mass m and the charge E accelerated from the rest through a potential difference V. The kinetic energy K of the electron is equal to the work done when electron moves between the 2 points and the potential difference V, that is EV, on it by the electric field. Correct? This is equal to the work done by electric field, that is EV. So, kinetic energy of an electron moving between the 2 points and the potential difference V volt is EV, charge into potential. Work done is equal to charge into, and that is equal to kinetic energy. Now, kinetic energy is half mv square. That could be written as half m square v square upon m multiplied by m divided by m. So mv is the momentum. So m square v square is p square, square of the momentum upon 2m. So p is equal to p square is equal to k into 2m. So p is equal to under root 2 km square root, but k is equal to ev. So that could be written as a under root 2, p is equal to under root 2 m ev, under root 2 m ev. The de Broglie wavelength lambda is equal to h upon p. So p is equal to under root 2 mev or under root 2 mk. So is equal to h upon under root 2 mk, and that is h upon under root 2 mev, because under root 2 mk is equal to under root 2 mev, and that is equal to this. Put the value of h, m and e, mass of the electron, that is 1.11 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. Electron charge is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19, and h is the Planck constant 6.6 into 10 raised to minus 31. This value comes about calculation 1.227 upon under root v. So if you know the potential difference, lambda could be calculated, but this is for electron. If it is a proton, then you will have to use you cannot use this data 1.227, that will be different, correct. It will be somewhat less. Proton is more massive, about 836 times heavier than the electron. 11.4, this is a small example also. What is de Broglie wavelength associated with the number 1? An electron moving with the speed of 5.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter per second. And second, a ball of mass 150 grams traveling at the speed of 30 meter per second. You know, as already we have studied that the electron is a lighter mass, so wavelength will be, electron will have less, more wavelength, and this is the heavier mass, the wavelength will be much less. So electron lambda E is equal to h upon p, correct. So mass is 9.11 into 10 raised to minus 34 kg, mass of the electron, and h is the Planck constant, that is 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second, and velocity is 5.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter per second. So p is equal to momentum, p is equal to mv, correct. So p is mv, h upon mv, that is 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 into m, mass of the electron 9.11 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg, into the velocity of the electron 5.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter per second. This comes about, this calculation 0.135 nanometer. This is measurable, correct. Because mass is less, the wavelength will be more, wavelength will be more. It is inversely proportional to the mass. Now for the ball is heavier, so it will have a more less wavelength, could not be measured practically. So mass of the ball is 1.150 gram, that is 1.15 kg, velocity is 30 meter per second, and so p, momentum, is equal to the mass into velocity. Calculate, this is comes about 15 3 ja 45, 4.5 kg meter per second. So de Broglie wavelength lambda for ball, b for ball, is equal to h upon p, that is 6.6 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second, upon momentum already we have calculated, or you can put this value directly here also, 4.5 kg per meter per second. This comes about 1.47 into 10 raised to power minus 34. This is a very small wavelength. So macroscopic object, they do not show generally the wave associated with them, because it is very small wavelength, correct. The de Broglie wavelength is comparable with the X-rays. This, correct. In the case of these electrons, the de Broglie wavelength is comparable in the case of the electrons. However, for a ball, correct, this is how for a ball it is about 10 raised to minus 19 times the size of the proton, correct. It is quite beyond the experimental measurement. So protons wavelength we can measure, but this wavelength of the electron is comparable to the X-ray, so could be measured. This is electron wavelength. Barabar? But this wavelength, that is about 10 raised to minus 19 times the wavelength of the proton, or that is or it has a 1.47 10 raised to minus 34, cannot be measured experimentally. Example 11.5, this is a solid example. An electron, the charge of electron is -1, mass is almost 0, it is not exactly 0, negligible, correct. Alpha particle, that is He24, it is doubly ionized helium atom, and the proton P, one mass and one charge, have the same kinetic energy K. Which of the particles has the shortest de Broglie wavelength? Now, for the particle de Broglie wavelength, lambda is equal to h upon p. We know it's a famous equation, de Broglie's equation. Lambda is the de Broglie's wavelength, and kinetic energy K is equal to p square upon 2m. Kinetic energy, you can write this. Kinetic energy is equal to K is equal to half mv square, that is equal to half m square v square by m. That is m square v square is mv is the momentum, that is m square is p square upon 2m, correct. That is so p square upon 2m is the kinetic energy. So lambda is equal to h upon p. So p square is equal to 2m, k is equal to p square upon 2m. So p square is equal to k into 2m. So p is equal to under root 2 km. So lambda is equal to h upon p, that is under root 2 m k अथवा km. For the same, that is k is the constant, kinetic energy of all particles is the same, that is electron, alpha particle and the proton, correct. So k is the same. So lambda will be inversely proportional to m. 2 is constant, h is constant, k is also constant, same, that is constant for all. For the same, that is constant k, lambda is inversely proportional to 1 upon under root m. So mass is heavier is the particle, smaller will be the wavelength, and vice versa. Thus, which particle is a shortest wavelength? Which is heaviest? That is shortest wavelength. That is for the heaviest is a less one. Which particle is the shortest de Broglie wave? That is alpha particle. For the particle, m is equal to for alpha particle has the shortest de Broglie wavelength. Let us calculate. For the same, a proton H11 is 1836 times heavier. Mass of the proton is 1.67 into 10 raised to minus 27 kg. It is more massive than an electron. Electron mass is 9.11 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. And the alpha particle is 4 times more massive than even proton. Proton is 1836 times than that of electron, and alpha particle 4 times massive, more massive than the proton. So electron is the lightest one. So maximum wavelength will be of electron and minimum will be of alpha particle. So our question is which has a shortest wavelength, that is alpha particle. Answer is hence alpha particle has shortest de Broglie wavelength. Next, the 11.6, a particle is moving 3 times as fast as an electron. The ratio of the de Broglie wavelength of the particle to that of the electron is 1.813 into 10 raised to minus 4. The calculate the particle mass and identify the particle. We know that de Broglie wavelength h lambda is equal to h upon p, that is h upon mv. Momentum is the mass into velocity. For an electron mass, so calculate this. Consider these two equations, lambda is equal to h upon mv. So mass is equal to h upon lambda v, h upon lambda v. So for electron, me is the mass of the electron, then is equal to h upon lambda v ki jagah lambda e ve. Lambda e for the wavelength of the electron and ve is the velocity of electron. For the particle, let us see the mass is m and wavelength is lambda and velocity is v. So it will be same way h upon lambda e v. Here it is h upon lambda v. Now take the ratio me upon m. Me upon m is equal to the h will be cut, cancel, correct? It is inversely. You can see mass is inversely proportional to lambda and the velocity. So me upon m is equal to this is inversely lambda e upon lambda v, and me upon m is equal to lambda v upon lambda e v e, lambda into v upon lambda e v e. Therefore m is equal to, take this and m, that will be, this will go up and this will be down. So me into lambda e upon lambda, lambda e upon lambda, this will be reverse ratio, and v upon v upon v. This ratio is given. The v upon ve is 3. V upon v is 3, that is v upon v is 1/3, and lambda upon lambda is 1.813 into 10 to the minus 4. So lambda e upon lambda, that will be reciprocal of this. So mass of the electron 9.11 into 10 to the minus 31 kg, you know, upon this ratio, that is 3 into 1.8 into 1, 3 into 10 to the minus 4. That comes about 1.675 into 10 to the minus 27. This is particle is the neutron, slightly heavier than the proton. We have seen the mass of this, that is this mass of the electron, this is mass of the proton, mass of proton, mass of the neutron. Mass of the proton is 1.672 and mass of the neutron 1.6749, that is almost, you can take this as a 75, correct? That is 75. So it is a neutron, correct? It's a solved numerical in the book given, maybe neutron or proton, almost same, slightly different. This is 7262, this is 749, correct? 6726. You can approximately take 1.67 also, so that is also a correct answer. Now 11.7, solved numerical, this is also on page number 403. What is the de Broglie wavelength associated with an electron accelerated through a potential difference of 100 volt? You know, this lambda is equal to h upon p, and that is equal to 1.227 upon under root v for an electron volt. This equation already given in their book, that is 1.227 upon under root. This equation you can use, lambda is equal to 1.22 value, this value is for only electron. Remember, the kinetic energy given by EV, and kinetic energy is also given by half mv square, correct? And half mv square is equal to p square upon 2m. So p is equal to, p square is equal to k into 2m. So p is equal to under root 2mk, and that is equal to, k is equal to EV. So put the value of k EV, that is under root 2mev. Now use the equation lambda is equal to h upon p. What is p? P is equal to under root 2mev, h upon 2mev. This is for electron. So if we correct, h upon under root 2 into mass of the electron into charge of an electron, that is, this calculation is 1.227. If it is a proton, then you will have to take the mass of the proton, correct? Charge is the same, positive charge, sign is different, but magnitude is the same, but mass will be the difference. So for proton, the value will be different. So for electron only you can use the lambda is equal to 1.227 upon under root 100. This is very, very important equation. That is equal to under root 100, that is 10. So divided by 10, that is point will shift by 1, that is 0.1227. 7 you can round off, that is 3, correct? 1, 2, 3, correct? It is more than half, 5. Next example, 11.1, that exercise. Now, first question of the exercise has been started. Find A, the maximum frequency and minimum wavelength of the X-ray produced by 30 kilowatt electrons, correct? The maximum energy of X-ray photon, that is equal to the energy of the photon. and that is equal to energy of an accelerated electron. Electron is accelerated between the potential difference is 30 kilowatt, that is 30 into 10 to 3 volt. So, what is the energy imparted? EV, that is V is 30 kilowatt and E is the electronic charge. That much energy is imparted when electron accelerates between the 2 points having the potential difference. This is actually accelerate 2 which happen, correct? Accelerating between these 2 points. It produces radiation. This electron is fast moving electron. The energy is EV, and that is equal to photon energy, that is E is equal to h nu. Correct? EV is equal to h nu. So, h nu is equal to EV. H nu is equal to EV. When electron accelerates between the 2 points and the potential difference V volt, the energy imparted is EV. Because potential difference is the work done per unit charge. For each charge, work done will be E time. If it is a Q charge, then QV. Electron moves, that is EV, and that is equal to energy of the photon. That whole energy converts into photon. So, h nu, this is the principle of X-ray production. H nu maximum is equal to EV. So, nu maximum is equal to EV upon H. EV is 1.6 into charge of an electron into potential difference, that is 30 kilowatt. It is given, that is 30 into 10 raised to 3 volt. Upon H, Planck constant, 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules into second. This is in volt and this is in joules per second. So, that is equal to 7.24 into 10 raised to 18 hertz, correct? This is Coulomb, this is in Coulomb, Coulomb into volt, correct? Upon, that is Coulomb into volt is joule, joules will cancel per second, that is hertz frequency. Then second, minimum lambda wavelength, minimum wavelength, that is wavelength is equal, wavelength to frequency is equal to velocity of light, photon light, that is already. The velocity c is equal to lambda into nu, frequency into velocity, correct? So, when lambda is minimum, the product is the same, velocity is the same. So, if lambda is minimum, frequency will be maximum, correct? So, lambda of the radio wave is maximum, correct? Then frequency will be less. X-rays, they have what the less short wavelength less, so frequency will be very high, and energy depends upon frequency, h nu. Energy is equal to h nu, correct? So, X-rays are more energetic than the radio waves. So, lambda minimum is equal to c upon nu, that is c upon nu maximum. Nu maximum we have already calculated, this one. So, velocity of light is 3 into 10 raised to 8 upon this nu maximum, that is 7.24 into 10 raised to 18. So, lambda minimum is equal to 0.0414 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter, that is minus 9, that is nanometer, or 0.0414, correct, nanometer, that is answer. So, nu is 7.24 into maximum frequency is 18, this is very high, and lambda minimum is, just see the smaller is the wavelength, higher is the total product is the velocity of light in the electromagnetic waves. You can say in the case of photon also it is true. Example second, 11.2, the phi 0, the work function is phi 0 is 2.14 electron volt for cesium atom or metal. When light of frequency 6 into 10 to 14 hertz is incident on the metal surface, photo emission of electrons occurs. What is the number 1? maximum kinetic energy of emitted electrons, stopping potential V0, and third, maximum velocity of the emitted electron. Correct? You know that the Einstein famous equation K, maximum kinetic energy h nu minus phi 0. Phi 0 is given, frequency is given, so we can calculate the maximum kinetic energy. Correct? First question, maximum energy emitted. So K maximum is equal to h nu is the energy of photon minus work function, or h nu is equal to phi 0 plus this one also. You can see total is the same. So if photon has energy h nu, energy of the photon is h nu. If it falls on the cesium atom, say, removes the electron, the work function is say phi. Correct? Part of the energy of this h nu will be used to remove the electron, that is work function phi 0, plus it will impart the kinetic energy, half mv square maximum, that is half mv square also, v maximum square. Correct? So kinetic energy, that is equal to h nu, or you can say total energy h nu. Total energy of the photon is h nu, and that is equal to work function phi, or kinetic this kinetic energy plus phi 0, or K is equal to, you can write reverse it, K is equal to phi 0 you take on this side, so h nu minus phi 0. Correct? So K maximum is equal to h nu minus phi 0, or K maximum plus phi 0 you take on the left side, that is h nu. H nu is the total energy. Part of the energy will be used to remove the electron from the cesium atom, that is phi 0. If you take phi 0 here, correct? And remaining energy, extra energy will impart the energy, that is kinetic energy. So kinetic energy plus phi 0 is equal to h nu, or kinetic energy h nu minus phi 0. So K maximum is equal to h nu is, h is a Planck, this Planck constant 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 joule second. Correct? Into, you convert into the electron volt, that is 6, correct, into frequency, into frequency 6 into 10 raised to 14 hertz upon divide by 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19, that will be, you will get in the electron volt. Because 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules. Correct? So 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. That will be, this will be in electron volt. Minus work function is given the electron volt. That is why it is to be converted. Remember, unit should be proper. So K maximum is equal to 2.48. This calculation is 2.48 minus 2.14, and that is equal to 4.48 minus 0.2, this is the 2 cancel, 0.34 electron volt. Correct? Number 2, stopping potential. You know, V0 is equal to K maximum, is the potential to stop the totally electron, that is retarding potential supplied to the electron to stop the photoelectric current. So if electron is moving from the cathode side, when radiation falls, electrons are liberated and electrons they move. If you want this, you give this the A plate in the photocell, correct, in the experimental instrument, this is negative, it will retard the motion of the electron. So total work done, if this potential is V, negative potential, the V0, that is equal to kinetic energy of electron, half mv square. Correct? So kinetic energy will become 0 So this force is applied in the opposite direction, that is the electrostatic potential energy or work done by the electric field, that is EV0. So EV0 is equal to K maximum. V0 is called the stopping potential because it stops the motion of electrons. So V0 is equal to K maximum upon E. So 0.34 electron volt, we have already calculated, correct? This one upon charge of an electron, that is E cast, it will be in the volt. 0.34 volt is the stopping potential. And last one is the C, V maximum, maximum energy, K maximum is 1/2 m into velocity maximum square. That is equal to, what is that? Already we have calculated. This is 0.34 electron volt. It is 0.3 electron volt, K maximum, correct? Already we have calculated. So E is the charge of an electron and volt is 0.34 into 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules. So this is half m V square is equal to this one. So V maximum is equal to m will be here, correct, and 2 will be in multiplication. So 2 into 0.34 into 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules upon m. That is equal to V square is equal to 2 into 0.34 into 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules upon mass of the electron 9.11, or approximately you can take 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kilogram. That comes about 11,119,560.4 into 10 raised to 6 meter square per second square. This is V square. So it will be meter square, or you can put the all unit joules upon kg, that is joules is equal to kg meter per second into meter, kg, correct, kg meter per second, that is Newton into meter, that is kg meter per second. You can write this, joules is equal to Newton into meter, that is kg meter per second square is the Newton, and this is into meter, that kg meter square upon second, kg cut, this kg will be cut, correct. So meter square upon second square, or you can, you know the unit of velocity, you can write directly also. So V maximum is equal to 3 this is square root of this, and square root of this is 10 raised to 6 power, that is 10 raised to 3, and square root of this meter square per second square is a meter per second. That is the answer. Example third, 11.3, that is, all are easy numericals. The photoelectric cutoff voltage in a certain experiment is 1.5 volts cutoff, that is stopping potential. What is the K maximum of photoelectron? The cutoff means that is stopping potential. So K maximum is stopping potential V0 or cutoff potential into E. So K maximum is equal to 1.6 10 to the minus 19, voltage is given 1.5 volt, correct. That is equal to 2.4, this 1.6 into 1.5, that is 2.4 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb into volt, that is joules, correct. So very simple, most easiest example. Next example, example 5. Example number 4 we will take later on because it needs more space, and there is no much more space in this in this board. The energy flux of sunlight reaching the surface of the earth is 1.388 into 10 to the power 3 watts per meter square, correct. So that is energy per second per meter square. What is the power? Power, that is energy per second, that is a flux. How many photons per meter square are incident on the earth per second? This already we have seen in the solved numerical in the book. Assume that the photon in the sunlight have an average wavelength of 550 nanometer. This is a yellow light average meter. Otherwise, violet has 400 and the red has maximum, that is 750 nanometer. So this is an average of the sunlight, correct. So energy of each photon is equal to h nu, and nu is equal to c upon lambda. Frequency nu is the c upon lambda, correct. C is equal to wavelength into frequency. Velocity is equal to, always you remember, the velocity c is equal to frequency, I told you earlier also, lambda, correct. So nu is equal to c upon lambda. Nu is equal to, take lambda on the left side, you will get this equation. H nu is equal to h c upon lambda, because lambda is given 550. So we have to convert it in the required form. So it is Sc, H is a Planck constant 6.6 into 10 raised to minus 34 to velocity of light c, that is 3 into 10 raised to power 8 upon wavelength 550 nanometer, that 550 10 raised to minus 9 meter. So energy of photon in the sunlight of this wavelength, if wavelength is less, energy will be more. You know, energy is inversely proportional to lambda, and it is directly proportional to frequency. More is the frequency, that is X-ray has more frequency than the red light, so X-ray is more energetic, and gamma ray has more frequency than the X-ray, so gamma ray is more energetic than even X-ray. So energy is inversely proportional to lambda and directly proportional to frequency, remember. And velocity is equal to frequency into wavelength. More is the wavelength, lesser will be the frequency. And more, correct? Less is the wavelength, like the X-ray or short wavelength, higher is the frequency and higher is the energy. Higher is the frequency, higher is the energy. E is equal to 3.62 into 10 raised to minus 90. This is. Now let's end with the number of photons incident on the earth per second, per square meter per second. So energy of n photons will be equal to total energy of n photon falling on the earth per square meter per second. Energy of n photons falling on the earth per second. So energy also we have to take total energy per second per square meter. So total energy incident on the earth per second per square meter, correct. This is, so total, say, energy of photon is E. So energy of n photon will be n times E. So Ne is equal to 1.388 into 10 raised to 3. It is given already, that data is given, correct. Joules per square meter. Energy per, that energy unit is joules per second per square meter, that is flux, into upon the energy of single photon, that is 3.62 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules. We have already calculated this one, correct, this one. So divide by this, you will get the number of photons incident on the earth per second per square meter. So n is equal to 3 point, this comes about 3.8 into 10 raised to 21 photons incident on the earth per second per square meter, correct.